Have you ever been forced to sleep on the bed of a deceased person? It may sound unimaginable, but this is the reality for poor Awatif, who was compelled to sleep on her late grandmother's bed just a day after her passing, only to face countless horrors. Awatif recounts her experience, saying, "I am Awatif, 23 years old, living in a village, not a city. My parents have no one but me, and my father named me after his mother, whom he loves dearly. I always disliked my name, feeling it was too old-fashioned and out of place in my time. Matters worsened when my grandmother passed away after battling an illness. My father insisted on bringing all her furniture into my room and pleaded with me to sleep on her bed, saying, 'You remind me so much of her. I love you dearly, Awatif, and now I have no one but you.' Deeply moved by his words, as I love my father, I agreed to sleep on my grandmother's bed. I went in my room to sleep a bit after the funeral and condolence proceedings from all our village neighbors, feeling extremely exhausted. But no sooner had I laid down on the bed than the door quietly closed. Feeling uneasy, I raised my head and asked, 'Father, is that you?' Receiving no answer, I felt the hairs on my neck stand up. I sensed someone lying behind me, feeling their warm breath, but I couldn't turn around. Was it my grandmother? The very thought was terrifying. I tried to get up, but couldn't. The room door then slowly opened, and someone shrouded in a burial cloth entered, walking towards me. Standing right in front of me, they said, 'Get up. Do not sleep on this bed again.' I tried to rise or scream, but found myself paralyzed. Then the shrouded figure left the room, and I felt the bed move as if someone had gotten up from it. Screaming, I rushed out of the room and woke my parents, who dismissed it as mere hallucinations and folklore. How could I prove what I saw was true? Resolving never to sleep in that room again, the next day, while my parents slept, I stayed in the hallway sipping coffee to avoid dozing off in my room. I had left the room door open and suddenly saw smoke billowing from the door. Moving slowly toward the cursed room, I opened the door to find a woman lying on the bed with two others pouring water from metal pitchers over her. The scene froze upon my gasp, like a paused movie. Running to my parents, I woke them up and narrated the events. They insisted I was imagining everything, and even my father offered to sleep in the room to prove me wrong. That night, I had my first real sleep since my grandmother's death. But upon waking, I overheard my parents whispering fearfully. My father admitted seeing his mother sleeping on the bed, feeling her breath, and witnessing the shrouded man moving around the room all night. Awatif is not imagining things. It's all real, my father conceded. My mother cautioned him to keep his voice down and pretend everything was fine until they could figure it out. Revealing that I had heard everything, I insisted we must get rid of the room. Initially, my father wanted to give it to someone less fortunate, but I argued that no one deserved this curse. Finally, they moved the furniture to the rooftop, as my father didn't wish to part with his mother's belongings so easily. From then on, we were plagued every night by murmurs, running, and screams coming from above. Eventually, my mother and I, while my father was at work, loaded the furniture onto a cart and discarded it in the desert. Moments after we left, we saw a man loading it onto his cart. Well, he chose his fate, but we were finally rid of my grandmother's room and its curse forever.